stretch. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP.TV. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all natural USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you see their best-in-class New York's, the fillets, and, of course, the king of all, the ribeye. Also, the gourmet burgers will blow you away. Remember, they're Angus and Wagyu only. Nothing subprime. They don't do subprime. For more information and find out what's for dinner, give them a call at 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935, or check them out at uppercutchops.com. That's www.uppercutchops.com. All right. Big welcome in everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Hotel television in over 200 markets in all your primary, secondary, third-level market hotels. Believe me, and cities, that is, as well. So believe me, we're everywhere. You can't get away from us, even Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and WOW Cable affiliates. NBC News right there in sunny Southern California. That would be KCAA 106.5, 102.3 FM and 1050 AM, Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. That's right around the corner from the Fremont Street Experience. Welcome into everybody also on social media and on the Mars rover. We are here with the lovely and endearing Karen Lorre. Yes! An astounding round of applause because she lights up the room everywhere she goes anyway. So why not give her the extended super applause? Karen, welcome to the show.
Sal, you're so fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me. I just adore you and appreciate you, and I'm amazed at all the numbers you can remember.
There's a lot. There are a lot more too. I was one of those kids. I always remembered numbers, whether it's telephone numbers, addresses, you name it, in the math. Remember we had those times tables and whatnot, all those. I finished them ahead of everybody, and I mean leaps and bounds ahead of everybody, only because I just have that number, photographic, quantitative brain, I suppose. But then again, what happens when I'm arguing? Is it qualitative or is it quantitative? All right, let's not get into that. Nonetheless, this is a sports show somewhere, folks. But guess what? We have an acrobat with us. I think she flies the trapeze as well. She's done all kinds of cool stuff. Karen, tell everybody about yourself.
Well, I've been an actress. I've done over 1,000 hours of film and TV. I've done acrobatics since I was very young and still do it, and have been doing it for that whole time, which is a long time. And I love it. I have not really done it. I've only done it on a couple shows, but mostly it's for fun. I fly the trapeze for fun. I haven't flown the trapeze. I think it's been like 5 years, but I love the flying trapeze. And there is my trapeze teacher actually moved, or my trapeze owner where I flew moved to Vegas. So who knows? I may go do that soon. And then I do other stuff. I love exercise. I love being fit. I love being athletic. And I've written 3 books. This is my first book, Chronic Pleasure, endorsed by Dr. Deepak Chopra and Dr. Bruce Lipton and Gay Hendricks and many people that I love. This is the second book I wrote called Effortless Enchantment. And that's kind of like, that's when I had blonde hair before COVID, and not COVID, the disease, but COVID, the quarantine. And this book is a memoir of my life. And then this is Chronic Pleasure in Relationships. And this book helps people have better relationships, better sex, and helps women inspire the best in men, or men inspire the best in women if they just switch the principles around.
Wow. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of good stuff right there. By the way, Karen, hold those books up and hold them up so everybody can see the face of those nice and clear. Everybody on television can see this.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, this, I'm going to put them in order. I never should be a dealer, card dealer or a drug dealer. I'm never going to be a drug dealer or a card dealer.
Well, that's great news. The good news, we're going to sleep well at night knowing that. All right.
Thank you.
All right. That's all good stuff. So Karen Lorre has basically done I didn't know you've done 1,000 hours on camera. Wow.
yeah,
I've done probably 3 or 4,000 hours on the microphone and on camera with this. I had no idea that you've done that depth of acting. Because I know you've been in the rodeo for a long time. I just didn't realize it was that long. Wow.
yeah. Well, yeah, I've been acting since I'm 20 something.
Well, wait,
Early.
that was last year, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I love you, Sal.
Well, but I was like, wow, how many hours are in the year? But nonetheless, so folks, she is an athlete. She's an author. She's an actress. She is a fitness wonder. And I don't really know what else to say. Can you cook?
I love cooking. I love cooking, and I've got a podcast out. It's called Chronic Pleasure Podcast, and I'm starting a new show that I'm super excited about called Stories We Love. Can I just share about it a little bit?
Absolutely.
First, let me tell you, Chronic Pleasure Podcast is a podcast where I basically take what people have issues with, and then I share how I've solved it in my life. So that it's a fun podcast, makes people feel good, and I love that. And you can go to chronicpleasurepodcast.com, and it's there. Stories We Love. I love people who are doing things that benefit the world, benefit children, benefit people. And so I've been creating these. I've already got, I think, 5 or 6 that I've recorded, and we're going to start it very soon. And Stories We Love is about people who are doing good in the world. And people, it will make you, as you watch it, it'll make you feel good. It will make you feel happy. It will inspire you potentially to get new ideas of how you can benefit the world in ways that maybe didn't even occur to you. So I'm super excited, and I'm super proud of all these beautiful people that I've been interviewing who are doing so many amazing things. They make me cry. Almost every show I'm crying.
Yeah. Well, you've had so many great people around you from birth, right? Look, it starts with your mom. Right? A superhero in your life, right? Exactly.
My mom's amazing. And my dad,
it just goes
too.
From there. Yeah.
My dad did acrobatics with me when I was really young, and that's one of the reasons I still do acrobatics, because he made it fun. And he would just, fly me on his feet, or fly me on his shoulders, or fly me on his hands above his head, And I think that childhood exhilaration of like, I'm flying, I still have that. And I love to be, I do handstands on people's hands and handstands on people's heads if they have a really strong neck, and know how to balance with their head. But it's super fun. It's so fun. Yeah.
Well, the good news is that out of all the years, you've kept your head really screwed on right. There's a lot of people out there, whether they're pro athletes or the average person driving to or from work right now, listening to this, or sitting back in a big lazy boy and watching your glorious face on the television. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there that just want to do stuff, but they just can't get out of their lazy boy or whatever it is they're sitting in and doing stuff. Why is that?
Well, there's so many reasons why it is. I mean, it could be that they've had, they just don't have enough energy. They're not eating food that's good for them. It could be that they are argumentative with people, like you mentioned at the top of the show, Sal. It could be, just kidding. But there's so many things that can happen. That's why I write, and that's why I'm doing my podcast, is to benefit those kind of people. Like this book helps people have more energy. I wasn't always having my head on straight. My head was
For everybody on the radio, Karen, for everybody listening on the radio, which book are you holding up?
Chronic Pleasure. And it helps people let go of pain and fatigue and have more energy. And the reason I wrote it is because I got super sick. I had narcolepsy, which is it's not a thing you catch. It's something that I probably had all my life, but I don't have it anymore. I healed it. I had PTSD, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I had all these things, and chronic pain in my body, and so many things. And also I had couldn't focus right, and I was suicidal. It was not a good time. Anyway, and then I depleted adrenals. My thyroid was off. My eyesight was bad. My hair was thinning. Oh, so many things. And now, part of the reason I wrote that book, why I have the first podcast, Chronic Pleasure Podcast, and why I'm starting the second podcast, is because I found the solution. I found the answer, and my body is completely healed. And so, I will offer to your people that are watching or listening, if you're sitting on the couch and you just can't get up, go to chronicpleasurebook.com, and maybe you guys can make a little link for them. chronicpleasurebook.com. All 3 of my books are there for free. You don't have to buy them. I want you to have them because I really care about people, and I want people to feel good, and I want people to know that life is good and that you can have the energy you want, and you can do the things you want, and there's no limitation to what you can do. I shouldn't say there's no, but there's very little limitation to what you can do. And that's something that I've been passionate about since I was a kid.
Right. So, Karen, when we come back from break, I want to ask a little bit more about these books, but also I want to know how they can actually help the athletes that are sitting around out there right now in between season. Maybe you're a baseball player, you haven't reported in spring training yet. Maybe you're a football player, you're done with your season, et cetera, et cetera. And let's find out how these books can help all those athletes out here. Folks, we're going to be back here with the lovely and incredible Karen Lorre in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@aamp.tv. That's info@aamp.tv.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. That's 800-908-7016.
Back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio. AAMP.TV stands for All Ages Media Programming, in case you're keeping score. This segment brought to you in part by Curry Leaf. Flavors of India, fine Indian cuisine. Folks, this is one of my favorite ones. I'll tell you what, I can't wait till tonight. Going to Curry Leaf, I'm going to have myself some butter chicken and some tandoori chicken. I'm super excited about it because they have items on that menu that a lot of other Indian restaurants don't have, like tandoori salmon and sea bass and all kinds of great stuff. Super healthy food for you. And I tell you what, folks, if you're visiting Las Vegas, if you happen to be visiting Vegas, don't spend your money on the Strip. You won't get a whole lot of value. You get good food, but guess what? Imagine going just 10 minutes away to the west, down Tropicana at Fort Apache, 5025 South Fort Apache Road, number 101. There lies Curry Leaf off the southwest corner. Find out what's for dinner, 702-527-7977, 702-527-7977, or check out the menu at curryleafvegas.com. That's curryleafvegas.com. And welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the 49ers, San Francisco Giants, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Also, NBC News, CNBC Financial, our flag station in Southern California. That's KCAA right here in Las Vegas, KIOF 97.9 FM, 107.1 The River over in Natchez, Mississippi, and Fairday, Louisiana. WAUD, home of the world champion Atlanta Braves over in Auburn, Alabama. Thanks for joining us. Also in Atlanta is WDJY 99.1 FM, all of our Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wild Cable affiliates. Thanks for joining us. Also, everybody on Hotel Television, as well as the Mars Rover. Folks, we are here with the lovely and enchanting Karen Lorre, and Karen is telling us all about her books, what she does, why she wrote them. You know what? Why don't you refresh everybody, Karen, about all of those, as she is an actress, an author, a trapeze artist, a sex symbol. I mean, she's everything. She's everything. You name it, she's done it, or she is it as she stands. All right, Karen, welcome back.
Thank you, Sal. And everybody who's listening, I just appreciate you listening so much. It's just so wonderful. And I wrote my books because I really love people. I want people to feel good. I do a podcast called Chronic Pleasure Podcast that makes people feel good. I do a new podcast that's coming out this week called Stories We Love. And I think what happens when people feel good, there's so many benefits. If you feel good, even if it's just emotionally, even if your body doesn't feel good yet, but you can feel good emotionally, there is so much benefit to that. First of all, if you feel good emotionally, you're getting out of the way, and your body can start to have the energy that it will naturally have. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but if you notice that when you're doing something you love or doing something super fun for you, you have the energy to do it usually. And when you are focusing on something that doesn't feel good emotionally, a lot of times the energy just falls out. And so if you're an athlete or if you're a person who wants to be doing more things, the more you can focus on things that feel good, the more it benefits your physiology, and the more it benefits your thinking and your brain. Because if you feel good emotionally, and there's so many ways you can do it. They're all in my book and in my podcast, and that's why I'm doing the Stories We Love. And then I can share more things too. But if you can focus on things that make you feel good, if you can focus on the things that you appreciate, if you can focus on the things that are fun and do the things that you enjoy, you get so many physical benefits, and it helps you get off the couch. Trust me, I spent several years on the couch or in the bed just because I couldn't function. And it had all to do with me focusing in a way that kept me sick.
So how do these books help athletes? This is a sports show. How do they help the athletes?
When you feel good emotionally, which all three of my books are about, it's what my podcasts are about. When you feel good emotionally, you have better energy, you have better inspiration. So you know how when you're playing a game, let's say you're playing basketball or baseball, and something comes out of the corner of your eye, if you're relaxed, which is what I teach, if you're relaxed and if you feel good, your peripheral vision is going to work better, and you're going to be able to catch that thing or make that move or know that you're your teammate is right, behind you, you're going to have a wide peripheral vision. When people are stressed out, their vision gets too focused, and the focus gets in the way of all athletics. And the peripheral vision opens up. Also, when you're stressed out, your blood vessels get smaller, your DNA winds tighter. Can you imagine if you have DNA and you're trying to make a copy of it and it's wound up so tight that the copy is not going to be a good copy? Just like if you had a piece of paper that you squish up and you're trying to Xerox it, you can't. Or you're going to get a modified version. So physical stress, emotional stress is not physical. Some physical stress is good. You want to be able to work out and have that stress of going to fatigue and feeling good in your body. But the stress of emotional stress and mental stress, where you're focusing on things that you don't like, it makes you unable to be as phenomenal as you can be. And so all my books help you release the stress. All my podcasts help you release the stress so you can actually be at your peak. You can be at your peak performance. If you're an athlete, you can be at your peak physical performance if you're out of the way emotionally. And if you notice, when people are in the zone, they're not worried. They don't beat themselves up if they miss a ball or miss a hoop or miss a thing. They're in a zone that is easy. It feels like they're free. They feel intuitive. They feel tuned in, tapped in, turned on. They're enjoying it. They feel connected. They know where things are. They know where their teammates are. They know where the ball is or whatever the sport is. There's a thing that happens, and getting in the zone is so much about what I teach. I teach that. I also work with clients, and I get my clients into the zone as much as they can be, because it's so important to be able to be in that flow. Even if you're a mom or a dad with your kids, even if you're just cooking, being in the flow, being intuitive, it translates across the board.
Right. And it's kind of like when you're talking about being in the zone, folks, just imagine this. When you do something continually right, you're on a roll, right? You just can't miss. But the fact is, your brain is on autopilot because you're just in right mode. Your brain is right. And once you realize, here's the crazy thing. Once you realize you're in the zone, guess what? You're out of the zone. It's true.
Unless you appreciate
it's like the
stuff.
theory of the hot hand. Hold that thought. This is like the theory of the hot hand. And so I wrote a paper on this. It was, it's about a 100-page paper I did in undergrad over at Purdue University. Yes, nice round of applause for Purdue University for undergrad. And so what really happens here when you have the theory of the hot hand going, there's a very, very big study on this. And so, I didn't have 2,200 citations in my paper like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did, of course, with his book, The Real Anthony Fauci. But then again, that's another discussion. But nonetheless, the idea is you keep feeding them the ball. If it's a basketball player, hypothetically, keep feeding them the ball, giving them the ball, and they're making most of the shots. They don't have to make all the shots, but they're right there every time. All right. And that is the idea. That's the upshot of the whole theory of the hot hand. Just keep feeding them the ball. And until at some point you have a streak of a whole bunch of missed shots, then you have to say, all right, I guess they've realized they're out of the zone.
Yes. But there's something about, if you appreciate that you're in the zone, you can stay in the zone by appreciating, because appreciation keeps you in the zone. Appreciation puts you in the zone. So I love what you're saying. If you start to go, "Ooh, I missed that one," and then you beat yourself up, or you go,
you start thinking about it.
Yeah, then that gets you out of the zone. And sometimes, when you're focused in a way, part of the reason it goes on automatic, especially if you're an athlete who's trained, you know how to do things. There's a subconscious part of you that's been playing your game or your sport forever, right? So there's a part that knows how to do it. And stress, worry, those things, they get in the way. And so that's everything I do, is wanting people to let go of that stuff. Wanting people to be free, to be emotionally free, so that they can be physically free and be free to be in that zone. And I love what you're saying about the hot hand. You keep feeding it. And that's kind of what the universe, forgive me for getting all airy-fairy, but the universe
She said airy-fairy. I don't even know what airy-fairy is, but all right. Good.
But just in terms of the universe, even if you're at home on your couch and you're in the zone because you're sitting there doing something that you love, playing your guitar or writing a poem or painting or doing something that you love, whatever it is, the universe will then say, hand them the ball, hand them the ball, hand them the ball. Right. And it's the ball of something you like. It might be the ball of, somebody reaching out to you that you wanted to connect with. It might be the ball of finding money in the street. It might be the ball of, I'm going to start eating in a healthier way, having more clarity. There's so many different ways that it can apply if you get out of if you get in the zone and out of stress. Right. Can't be in the zone with stress.
That's right. So here in our last 30 seconds or so, it's kind of like the idea of waking up, instead of having a sugary substance or a high carb substance, have some protein instead, maybe a little bit of fat, because it's better for you than giving you incredible high. And then you're falling off and the rest of your morning is essentially wasted. Fair or not fair?
No, that totally makes sense. I actually do intermittent fasting, so I don't eat in the morning anymore. But I just eat one 4-hour meal maybe.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. 4-hour meal. Boy, that's a big meal. All right, folks, we're going to be back here with the wonderful Karen Lorre in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come. Go have a 3-minute meal. Back here with you.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. This segment is brought to you in part by Stories We Love. And here to tell you all about Stories We Love is the lovely Karen Lorre.
Ah, you're so sweet. So Stories We Love is this new show that I'm doing. It's going to be on all the YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, all the places where podcasts go. So some of it will be audio, but most of it's going to be video, hopefully, if you tune into that. And I'm interviewing people that are doing phenomenal things in the world. So can I just share some of the things that people are doing that I love?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of the people is doing organic regenerative farming. So whatever she grows regenerates the earth. So it's phenomenal. And the earth, so much of the earth has been damaged by pesticides and stuff like that. But she does regenerative farming. So it's not sustainable. It's better than sustainable. It's like sustainable better. And we're regenerating the earth. And when you do that, it increases the biodiversity. It increases the health of the soil. It increases the nutrients in the soil. And so many things that we eat, if they're grown in regenerated soil, in biodynamic, organic, regenerative soil, what happens is we get all sorts of minerals from the soil that the plant takes up. And so I learned so much from her. It was very exciting. And then I have another person he supports this place in Tanzania, in Moshi, and there's a woman there who works with kids who are born or who have some sort of mental or physical disability. And in Tanzania, they're considered cursed. And so the parents hide them away. And this woman and my friend who helps her, they have created this incredible center where these kids learn how to be part of the world and where the culture of Tanzania is being shifted. So, and then a guy on stand-up paddleboard who picks up litter in the Potomac, right? It's just like so many cool people who are doing things, and I just love it. And it seems like some of the things are big, but there's also things that people are doing just on their own. So I love it because there's so much good news out there that people don't get to see much.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the good news that's out there is just from people's mindset. They are in a very happy place and they want to do happy things. They want to help the world. They don't want to bring the world down. Look, in the world of sports, this is a sports show, and we see the same thing. We see certain franchises, just like right here in Las Vegas, we see the Raiders. Yes, we see the Raiders, and we see disciplinary problems over and over and over. And you scratch your head and say, well, how come we don't see the same disciplinary problems with other teams? We don't see them with the 49ers, for example. The 49ers are a class organization from top to bottom. The people that are in their system, the way they handle their alumni relations. And I have a lot of friends from that particular organization. I hear about this. Even the Green Bay Packers, and I'm a Bears guy. It's very tough for me to say, but the Packers alums do a lot for the community. And there are certain clubs. When I think about the Raiders, I think of drunk driving. I think of gun brandishing. I think of everything bad about sports. But when we think about stories we love, how about some good sports stories that we love? Because we're going to have them. And even some guy paddleboarding down in Potomac picking up trash. Guess what? That's a good athletic move because it takes balance, it takes skill, but it also takes mental drive to do something good, to see something bigger beyond themselves. Yeah, and that's, it's interesting. I was talking to another person that I'm going to interview, and one of the things that he mentioned is that when a person has a significant positive life experience with nature as a child, or with, caring for people as a child, it really sets the tone and they become more devoted to taking care of other people. But you can still reverse it. Let's say, I don't know the Raiders, but let's say that somebody in the Raiders' life starts to look at the things they're doing right, starts to focus on what they appreciate about them, starts to help them know the benefit of not drinking and driving in a positive way, helps them know that they've done a lot of really great things, and shows them the specifics of, look how you did that play really well. Even if we didn't win the game, look at how you did this.
and you did it really well. If you start focusing on the things that people do well, they start to do more things well. And, you know, the way that we have our society where it's punitive, or where people are criticized, or where you get red marks on your grades as a kid, is kind of the way people actually work is, look, if you've done this one thing that's good and you focus on it, you're going to create another thing that's good. It's going to keep rolling. And that's part of getting in the zone for athletes or for anyone, is you start to say, well, you know what, we might have not made the game. We might have not won the game, but we did this one throw really well. We caught this one ball really well. We did this one communication really well. We had this intuition very, very clearly. We were connected in this really good way. You start looking at the things that are working, everything can change. Part of the thing that happened for me as someone who was physically sick, I didn't have much I could appreciate. And I just started to appreciate the tiny things, trees, ocean, things I already loved. I already know I love trees. And I would start to appreciate that. And what happened is then I found another thing to appreciate and another thing, and it all built up. And that appreciation, that feeling of joy that you get from it, healed my body.
You know, Karen, most men, oh, by the way, folks, we are here with the lovely Karen Lorre. Everybody just tuning in on Hotel TV and, of course, our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates. That would be actress, author, trapeze artist, and wow, thousands of hours on camera, et cetera, et cetera. She's doing it all. She has a couple of really good shows out there, Chronic Pleasure, and, of course, a new one, Stories We Love. And so Karen has been with us for a little while. And folks, in case you've missed any part of this show, you can always go back to the sportscircus.com and find today's date. Go ahead and replay the show on iHeart, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, or on CBS or NBC logos or CNBC. Just click on any of them. It'll take you right to today's date. Go ahead and replay. Get yourself a big bowl of your favorite healthy food and a big cup of water instead of something you probably shouldn't be drinking, and enjoy this one over and over. So look, Karen, when we think about the positive plays that a team is making, that's great. And then we say, well, you know, why is one organization have discipline issues? Well, there's a lot of reasons for it, but instead of focusing on all those bad things that have happened off the field, maybe doing things as a team building on the field, or maybe during practice, it would get those negative or those individual, see if I can spit this out, individualistic ideas out of their head and think as a team instead of as an individual.
You know, there's something. So, for example, one of the people I'm going to interview, they work with prisons, and they've helped. So these are people who have disciplinary problems, right? Who are the people in the prisons, and some of the people who run the prisons. And,
by the way, they do have a jail inside the stadium where the Raiders play, and they also have a court. Believe it or not, they actually do. They have a jail in that stadium. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that they're going to do, or they are doing, they've already worked with hundreds of prisons. One of the things that they do is they grow on the yard an organic regenerative farm, just in a small part. And then the people who are in the prison learn how to care for the vegetables. Then they eat the vegetables. So there's this whole thing about being exposed to nature. Nature's a very calming thing, and nature's very brilliant at helping people connect to that thing within themselves that is tranquil or that is joyous. I mean, even if you're just watching squirrels or hawks, like if you watch hawks, they fly around, they're just caught in the airstream. And if you get a sense of nature, whether it's watching the joy of dolphins or watching the way squirrels play with each other and chase each other, and squirrels are athletes. They are athletes. Or the way that hawks fly, or you connect with trees, or you're somewhere in nature, or with the desert, or with the mountains, or anywhere, that's something really, really healing. And I think if you're a team that has those kind of disciplinary problems, maybe there's a way that you can get the team someplace natural and beautiful where there's a focus on being quiet and just enjoying the nature and connecting with it. I also think that the more that people know that they're good, know that they're lovable, know that they're beautiful and important and valuable. Like if those players that are having the disciplinary actions could start to practice knowing that, hey, I am lovable, I'm important. And when you feel that about yourself, you become more connected to your team. But if you're trying to go from the team to make somebody behave, you can't do it from the outside as well. That's part of what our whole culture has done off. If you engender that good feeling, that self-respect, that self-appreciation in someone, then they naturally want to be part of a group. They naturally want to be cooperative.
I would agree with that 100%. Listen, in our next segment, I want to talk more about that. But folks, this isn't about softening up a pro athlete. This is about working on their psychological profile, because if you feel better, you're going to perform better. If you're performing better, your team wins, everybody wins. So you know what? Let's practice a little bit of that as we go to break here on the Sports Circus. We're going to be back here in just a few minutes, and don't eat 3 more minutes worth of food because you already did it at the last commercial break. Back here in a few minutes with the lovely Karen Lorre. Don't go anywhere.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. That's 800-989-1694.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system. And it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit bestsupertea.com. The first word is best, spelled B-E-S-T, then the word super, then the word tea. The complete website is bestsupertea.com, or call us at 818-274-8270, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-274-8270, bestsupertea.com.
Yes, I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas to the AMP TV studio, AMP TV. Folks, make sure you check out the sportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, our recorded shows, which are podcasts in full. We don't cut or edit them. They're out there. Whatever we say, trust me, like me trying to say individualistic earlier, it's going to be in there. When I tripped over my tongue, it doesn't matter. We've done thousands of this stuff, folks. Guess what? It's going to stay that way, and that's that. Anyway, entertain yourself. Go get yourself a truckload of popcorn and a gigantic truckload of water and listen to, I don't know, about 1,300 episodes or so of the Sports Circus. You can listen to more. Again, thesportscircus.com. Also, make sure you check out our partners. And in fact, the partners page has one of our partners, which I'm wearing their colors right now, where everybody on TV can see it. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. CSNCoyotes.com for upcoming events and games. The College of Southern Nevada Athletics, CSNCoyotes.com. Make sure you check them out, folks. All right, welcome back to everybody. I'm not going to name everybody. We'll be at the end of this segment. We won't have any time for the lovely Karen Lorre to tell everybody about stories we love and other things we're going to ask her. You know, Karen, I want to find out. You work with clients. What kind of changes do you witness with the clients that you work with?
It's so exciting. I just feel so blessed. I work with amazing clients that, for example, they might have been shy, super shy, and not known why. So this one client, she was Chinese, and her mom was pregnant with her third child, which is my client, which she wasn't allowed to have 3 kids. And so she already had 2 boys. So they had to leave China when the mom was like 6 months pregnant. So there was this whole energy of hide the baby, hide the baby, hide the baby. And my client wants to be an actress, but didn't realize that she had this subconscious training. And we undid it. And now she has this freedom about going into acting. And it's so exciting because we undid the programming that she had when she was in utero and allowed her to recognize that it's safe to shine, that it's safe to be herself, that it's safe to be seen. And as she got to that place, now she's in the world, she's working, she's doing all sorts of good stuff. So it's really fun that way. Another client had an issue with the roof at his house for 2 years. Then he started working with me and I gave him some guidance. And within 2 weeks, the people who fixed the roof, who had not been communicating and had been ignoring him and all that stuff, now they're taking care of his roof. Another client with her car, her car had a problem and nobody could fix it. And it went back to her childhood where she had a problem as a kid and her parents made fun of her and shamed her instead of helping her. And so we undid that and we helped. And not only did her car get completely fixed, but everybody who was involved, the insurance, the rental car, the car fixing place, all those people like bent over backwards to take care of her from one day when she was traumatized to the next. It changed overnight. People's blood pressure goes down by 20 points. Their health improves. They are told that they're immunocompromised and then their kidneys get better. You know, I mean, it's just hilarious, like how everything can change when you really understand the principle of feeling phenomenal emotionally.
So as a author, actress, trapeze artist, among other things, you help people gain clarity on their path. Is that safe to say?
Yes. And I help people find their own inner guidance. You know, we're all blessed with some form of intuition and guidance. And most people don't understand how to activate it, or they have guidance that they misinterpret. Like if you get a negative guidance, it's never accurate. That's something that most people don't understand. So they think, you know, oh, I have this, you know, there's something negative. Oh, I shouldn't do this. All real guidance feels amazing. And part of the way that you get that guidance is being in an uplifted, joyful state. And so I help people get their own inner freedom, their own inner guidance, so they know what's right for them. I don't know what's right for anybody. I just know how to get to the path so that people can have that freedom, so they don't have these psychological holdbacks, the blocks, and so that they can have this wisdom within them that tells them what's the right path. and it's so fun because one of the things I love is people getting what they want. That's one of my things that lights me up the most. So I feel so blessed to do this.
Well, Karen, what this reminds me of is, sometimes you'll walk through, I don't know, a big shopping area, and then out of the corner of your eye with that peripheral vision, you'll see this oxygen bar. You're like, what in the world? Well, what's this? Okay, go over there, put some oxygen in you, and it'll make you feel better, et cetera, et cetera. You are the human oxygen bar. That's how I'm looking at this.
Thank you. That feels so good. That feels so sweet. I really appreciate that. And it is interesting because people will have, like, one of my clients had allergies, and then in the session, the allergies went away. She could breathe better. There's almost all of my clients are better able to breathe. They get deeper breaths just from being in the session. And so I really appreciate you saying that, because breathing is really important. Most people don't know it. Breathing is super important, and breathing deeply, that helps people relax, but it also helps people have better focus, better memory, and better athletic, better energy, better capacity to do what they want to do in a physical way.
That's why they always say, like, before a big game or a big move or whatever, whether it's on the field or on the court or on the ice, whatever, take a deep breath, focus on what you're doing. And it allows you, because you get more oxygen in your lungs, et cetera, et cetera. And look, this is no accident. This is what happens in the sporting world. Yes, this is a sports show. And by the way, Karen Lorre just happens to be an athlete as well. And so we're talking about things that will help the masses, but also the athletes out there, and even reducing stress. Look, there are things that can, I don't know, what are a few things that people could do to reduce stress?
Well, one of the things that's super easy, because the breath is both conscious and subconscious. Like, you can consciously control the breath, and if you're asleep, it's breathing you, right? It's there. So it's both. And so the breath is a great mix between the conscious, it's a liaison between the conscious and the unconscious mind. So instead of taking one good breath before the game, if you breathe deeply, so what I mean by that is, when you breathe, you can feel your belly expand, or you can feel your sacrum move in and out, sort of like if this was your sacrum, it kind of moves back and forth very slightly. It's a subtle movement. But if you can actually breathe deeply while you're doing as much as you can, there's times that you can't, but if you can practice breathing deeply, that literally lowers your physiological stress point. It helps you think more clearly, and it makes your voice better. It makes your eyes see more clearly. It helps you have excess or increased peripheral vision. So the breath is one thing. The eyes, just as we're talking about that for a second, the eyes are also a path between your conscious and your subconscious, because most people's eyes will see whether they're paying attention or not. But your eyes also have the capacity to be activated in a conscious way. So I use this ball. It's in the other room, but I use this ball. It's a little ball with like 4 or 5 different balls. It's like 7 super balls all connected, and it bounces completely erratically, erratic. It's erratic. And so I do it. You have to be careful that there's nothing fragile in your neighborhood, in your area that you're doing it.
In your neighborhood, for sure. It's a super ball. It's going to bounce all the way through the area code, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And so but it bounces, and it bounces so unpredictably. And so you're training your eyes, your peripheral vision, you're training your processing speed, your attention, because you have to follow that ball to even catch it. You miss it I miss it a lot, maybe, but it's so fun. So that's a really cool thing, to train your eyes to have more peripheral vision. And when you do that, I can't remember what the ball is called, but if I remember it, I'll tell you. But the brain, but if you look up reaction ball, you'll find it. But the peripheral vision, if you're focusing, let's say you're driving, or let's say you're watching TV or watching this, instead of focusing on the TV, be aware of the whole room, or be aware of the road. That peripheral vision is an aspect of relaxation. If you notice, when you're stressed, you don't have peripheral vision. When you have peripheral vision, that's another thing you can do. You can also, just to be in a place of more in the zone, spend time focusing on the things about yourself that you're doing right.
Okay. Well, listen, Karen, we have just a couple of minutes left. I want everybody to know, first of all, where they could find Chronic Pleasure, where they could find Stories We Love, your books, etc. Take a minute and talk about that quickly.
Yes, I apologize that I have so many links. So, okay, here, the first one where you can get the books for free is chronicpleasurebook.com, chronicpleasurebook.com. You can get all my books for free. You can go to chronicpleasurepodcast.com and get my Chronic Pleasure podcast. And soon, we're building it now, you can get the Stories We Love show.com. You can get Stories We Love at storiesweloveshow.com. And all of those are free. Everything is what I'm doing just because I care about you. I love you. I want you to have what you want.
That's all great stuff. And, folks, it's not very often that we have the opportunity to get things for free. They always say, well, the only thing free in life are death and taxes. That's not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. Apparently, right. Well, death is free, right?
Taxes are free. I don't think taxes are free.
Well, no, but you have to pay taxes. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, oh, that's for free. Oh, they'll take your money. Yeah, for sure. But nonetheless, I mean, oxygen you would hope is for free. Hopefully it's not tainted with stripes in the sky, but that's another discussion for another time. But nonetheless, Karen Lorre has so much to offer. Folks, you need to follow her. Is there a social media people can follow you on?
People can follow me on Facebook. It's Karen Lorre, Lorre. You can follow me on Facebook. It's hard for me to accept a lot of friend requests just because I have so many friends and Facebook doesn't allow that. You can't have more than 5,000 friends, which is so weird. Anyway, but you can definitely follow me and you can definitely send me private messages. I respond to them. I'm also on Instagram. I don't do it too much, but you can find me same Karen Lorre there. I'm on YouTube, Karen Lorre on YouTube. I'm kind of omnipresent.
Right. Well, whether you're an athlete or the average person driving to and from work or sitting around on your sofa or your office chair, wherever you're at, listening to this show, watching this show, you could be sitting in hotels, watching on a hotel TV. Karen Lorre is a superstar of life. She's a champion of life. And Karen, tell everybody quickly again where they could find those books.
chronicpleasurebook.com. chronicpleasurebook.com. Thank you, Sal. You're so wonderful. I really appreciate you and adore you. Thank you so much.
Well, listen,
Thank you,
you're always welcome back on the show. You're always welcome back. You've been on several times, and guess what? You're going to be on several more times just because you can. And that's going to do it for the circus today. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, and thank you to the lovely Karen Lorre for joining us again. All right, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.